I know, it's like pick every fucking thing apart. But surprised. I was waiting when you said you were going to get glasses today. I'm like, oh Lord, just getting glasses.
You know, I am 34 years old. I'm getting up there. So.
Oh, jeez. Here comes some more rumors because you got the glasses, girl.
You got the
Hey,
glasses.
we all know that I have bad eyes. That's
Hey,
not a
I know, that's
lie.
something that's
That's
always
facts.
Right? They'll call it something else they'll watch, girl. I'm telling you. I got these people down pat.
Right, and you know what I want to say, because a lot of people are spreading this in too. I think a lot of people are confused about
Wait, we can't hear you, Brie. You're a little muffled.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was like a lot of people I heard keep talking about this. I'm not gonna go deep into detail about it, but about the Wikipedia thing. A lot of people don't. A lot of people think that. Okay, I went on there and I looked so deep into that. The reason that the shit is locked down is because of It says like vandalism. There was so many people, like, beside just by like the name Gypsy Rose Blanchard, that were trying to add all these different things, and they have it like locked down right now because they see that so many people are in there trying to make edits, and they're like, now you have to send a request for an edit. Like, you can't. Usually you could just edit it, but now you have to actually put in a request, and a lot like that is specifically if you are the Gypsy Rose Blanchard that went in there, like, you're the one that did that. But I went, and you can go look for yourselves. I went through each of the little comment sections, like, for the editing side of it. Like, you can go into that and see all the notes, and you can even see people kind of arguing. When I say arguing back and forth, I mean not like going off on each other, but they're debating back and forth. No, this should stay, blah blah blah. And I mean, some stuff they saying straight up, like they took out or whatever. But a lot of people are just misconstruing that and making it seem like something that it's not. And you really go there yourself and see all the edits that got taken down that were made by all kind of random people. And then you got My Little Pony. I don't know if y'all have it in My Little Pony. She is one of the people that's on TikTok that is a part of all that. And this person, Liberty Bell, I don't know where they're from, but I know that name, Liberty Bell. They're two people that, yeah, so, I don't know, it's just so weird. These people spending their whole fucking day on Wikipedia. Sources, they say, like, you can't use, like, in school and stuff, you can't even use Wikipedia as a oh, that's you dreaming. You can't even use Wikipedia as a, like, source. I like how Kim goes about. Wait, here's about bad press. How does Kim go about bad press?
What?
No, somebody was saying I like how Kim goes about bad press. And I said, how does she? Kimmy.
Hey, Kimberly.
Liberty Bell is in PA. No, but I know that name, Liberty Bell. Like, I've seen it somewhere. Like, she's definitely, like, as an anti-gypsy person. Like, I've seen it. Like, I just don't know where. It could have been on Reddit. It could have been anywhere. I don't really go on Reddit much. Reddit is weird. Like, like, I will, like, get notifications. I'm so glad I finally turned it off. It'll be the most random ass shit. Like, like, they didn't have anything else to talk about or something. So they're like, did anybody happen to see this? And it's like something that was talked about like a year and a half ago. And we're like, yep, that's old. But yeah, they get weird up in there. That's why I don't like. I'm talking about like the biggest page. But Gypsy, you ended up getting a lot of Facebook pages taken down there, right?
Yes. So I am so freaking. That is what Operation Cockroach is about. If nobody knew, that's Operation Cockroach. So I was like, I'm like, I am gonna take down every, at least the majority of the fake Facebook profiles and Instagram profiles. And I was able to hit the 83,000 follower Keeping Up with Gypsy Rose account. And keep in mind that I messaged the individual like a year ago. And I told this individual, I don't know if it's a female, I don't know if it's a guy, I don't know. But they messaged me back and they're like, you know, I'm neutral. I'm not a supporter. I'm not against you. I just repost. And I was like, well, a lot of people think that you're me. And you're leading onto that. You're not correcting them. You're not saying I'm a fan or I'm this or I'm not Gypsy. You're just letting them believe that it's me. And remember when that account had posted, and I usually don't like to talk about Ryan, but
Yes, I remember.
posted that thing that said I had to kiss a couple of frogs or you know, to get my prince or whatever.
Yes, and he calls the big old, yeah.
Ryan called me when Ken and I were at dinner, being like, what the fuck? Why are you saying this? That's so fucking mean of you. And I'm like, dude, it ain't me. Like, you're getting up all upset over a account that ain't mine. I didn't have any control over what this person says. And then he chilled out. But that individual that was running the account was like, well, I'm not taking down my profile. I'm going to continue to post. So fast forward a year later, I've got the Meta verification and I have Meta support. So I could talk to an agent on the phone and they can do it internally, an investigation, and shut it down. So I ended up shutting the account down. And there was another one that had 21,000 followers that would post as me on a daily. And I kept on putting in the comments, this is a fake Gypsy profile, until they ended up like deleting my comments. But I was like, I'm going to hit that one next. And I hit that one. And that one's gone. And so I've just been popping them left and right. So I'm like, if you're going to try to impersonate me, you ain't going to do it on a Meta platform.
Get it, Gypsy.
And I'm coming for more. Like, there's still a few little here and there that's, you know, 100 followers or whatever. I'm popping them too. I wanted to get the big ones though.
And the reason is because it starts like it can cause a lot of problems. Like
and then there was one point, there was a fake account of Ken and a fake account of me, and they were actually talking to each other. It was so funny.
Oh my god. No, there's only one account that has Ken's name that like I support. Like, I like that person, and even Ken is like, they were like, no, they've seen her post before. It's a girl named Bonnie. Like, she's really sweet. I mean, I know not everybody might like. I mean, I think she's been respectful to me. She doesn't really I don't really see her that involved anymore. But it's just the only reason she's never changed. It's the free Ken Euchre account, and the only reason she's never changed her name is because that's what her name has been ever since she came on TikTok. And she's just like, this is just. And I mean, I've talked to Ken about this before, and I mean, it's not like he threw a fit about it. So I mean, I feel like everybody knows that's not Ken, is the point.
Right. I mean, even I know. Like, right. We all know that.
So I feel like, you see, like, that's like the one account that I'm like, okay, like, it doesn't bother me when I see it anymore. It's just like, whatever, you know? Like, because they've literally had the same picture, the same name forever. Mm-hmm. Maybe they'll change it one day. Who knows? It is what it is. And they're respectful. They really are. And, like, I mean, at one point they weren't the nicest. But, I mean, we've had a conversation since then. And, since then, they've always been very, like, they'll reach out and even, like, be, you know, just if something shitty happens, you know, like, they've been respectful. So, but, I mean, when you see these fake-ass accounts that are clearly trying to be, like, then answering, like, hey, thank you. They're like, somebody will be like,
that's what's so weird. Annoying. And I think that they do this because it's like this is the only way that they can get the likes, they can get the attention.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we live in a time where that's so important to people. Mm-hmm. And some of them are just straight up nasty, though, and it's like, those should be taken down anyway.
Right. Bro, I did that happy dance. I was in such a good mood. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get him.
I mean, have you reached out to any that are just like actual supporters of yours and they went ahead and just took it down because you asked them to? Was it, or no?
I don't think that there's been anybody that really did anything like that, because I think they would have enough respect for me to see, like, okay, she posts her own content. I'm not going to infringe on that. If I'm a fan account, I'm going to say I'm a fan account.
Right.
Well, I tell you what, I laughed.
Clearly not really supporters. They just.
And he was trying to sell your content, and all these haters were giving him money. and you got it straightened out. All that money they thought they were giving to him went to you.
Oh, from the hacker.
Oh, the hacker.
Remember
But
me
that was funny.
when he set up the hacker, people said. Like, where do I go about doing that?
Right. Let me just find somebody and be like, hey, try to sell my account for $100. You're nuts.
People were really messaging that person and wanting to buy it. It's so crazy.
Oh, I know. I went and read some of the DMs when I got my account back. It was crazy.
I will say this, I'm so glad because for some reason, and he had to been working with somebody else or something, I don't know, but remember he tried putting out fake messages between I don't know, people were asking to release like you and Ryan's, you and Ken's, you and mine. And
yeah, there was like a lot of fake messages.
But remember, it was fake messages, and thank God that person, remember he accidentally didn't translate one of them into English. And that's how people found out that they were fake. Because they were believing them at first, even though, like...
I will say kudos to pat on the back to Conspiracy because she was, like, one of the first ones to say, hey, I really think that these messages are fake. Like...
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes she has integrity.
I know, so 7. I'm sorry you can't join. There's no guest at this time.
She's actually one of the few people that was, like, respectful of Dan. Like when everybody else thought Dan was somebody else, and I knew who he was, she was...
Mugshot Dan?
Actually knew who he was, the real Dan. And, she agreed with me that, he had been private for this long, like, there was no reason to, like, put out his name, I don't know if she ever did. I really don't think she has, but, I mean, maybe, I don't know. But, I mean, we never turn people they're going to because...
Who was the first person to put out his real picture?
Who do you think?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of
The one who thought that
obsessed
wasn't even
people.
right Dan. The one... Okay. Let's see. Someone I fought with over this. They fought with me. They told me that, like, they said some shitty things about me, spread rumors about me, saying I was on drugs and everything, because they were so mad because they can't ever be, this person can never be corrected.
I can think of 2 people.
She can never be corrected, and and once she found out she was wrong, she tried saying that she, interviewed both Dan Gladwells. Even though that's not true, because one of them don't even live in Missouri. And she went to Missouri and interviewed all these men, even though she really didn't. Yeah, that woman.
Okay.
Excuse me. Jana, if you want up, I can drop down.
Who? I can add more boxes. Who was trying to come up?
Oh, I saw Jana. I was just telling her I can drop down if she wants to come up.
Wait, who? Who's trying to come up? Oh.
Jana.
Oh, Sheena's here. No,
Shayna.
yeah, I mean, you can go down. I can add another box, Dreamer. It doesn't matter. I can add another box. Add another box. There we go.
I'm just saying I can drop down.
Sheena ain't coming up here. I'm just kidding. I don't even see her requesting.
Well, no, I didn't say she's requesting. But I saw her come in there and she said, like, hey, I was just telling her if she wanted to come up.
Sheena, are you in here for real, though? Because I want to show you your picture, finally. Tammy Hutt, I seen you in here being rude the other day. You trying to come up? You got a question or something? Ask in the comments.
Ask in the comments.
Sheena Marie. Sheena, where are you at? I want to show you your picture.
Anybody text her?
Oh, I thought Dreamer said she was in here.
I'm gonna text her.
Oh,
Rachel, it's alive.
Oh.
You were talking to me. I was like, what?
Wait, somebody. Well, that could have been anybody. No.
Text her.
No. I'm so sorry, y'all. The reason we can't let anybody else up that unless we know them is just because, unfortunately, some people are just rude and mean, and we're just not gonna be allowing that up in her. Are we debating something or just hanging out? We're just hanging out. Why, you want to debate, Rachel? I'm all about a debate. A civil one, of course. No, I'm joking. I'm not gonna, obviously not gonna debate right now. A civil one, of course. No, I'm joking. I'm not gonna, obviously not gonna debate right now. But I will. I wish Becca Scoops would debate me, but she won't. And I wonder why.
Where you at, Scoops?
Where you at, Scoopity?
Been waiting.
I've been waiting. That should tell you something.
Did that?
Oh no! I can't wait till you hear this song. I'm not gonna sing it with all these people in here, but I can't wait till y'all hear the song I wrote for him. It's to God Bless the Broken Road. Sheena. Okay, Sheena, you never got to see the picture I made for you. Where have you been? Jesus Christ, like you were here yesterday and I never saw you again.
You talking to me?
Yeah.
That goes rogue.
I've been in Delusionalville and I decided to check out of that for a little while.
Look, Sheena.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Sheena, look at the picture. Miss Popular.
I fucking love it. I love
says,
it.
Look at your
It's
magenta.
perfectly me.
Your magenta legs. Your stockings.
I love the magenta legs.
So it says, look, on one side it says, yes, I'll be beating Nicole on the dance floor for the 6th year in a row. And then on the other side it says, wait, Scott, like, just put it down. But on the other side it says, half off with the app. You're welcome. I love you, bitch. You're slushy. And then the scooter says, horses beware. And then there's a younger version too.
Don't forget the magenta.
Oh, I know. I told her that. That was the first thing I mentioned. Wait, and you look at Dreamer. So I'm gonna show you all 3 of them. So I made this one. Well, first this one, and I didn't like that one. So I made this one. And this one, I was like, all right. And then I made this one. But Dreamer likes this one. This one, y'all ready? This one is a badass. Like, man, this one I'm scared of.
I like that one too.
Me
I like
too.
that one the best.
Me fucking too. And at first I was like, what the hell? Like, because the other ones were all glamorous. And I was like, once it was completed, though, I was like, oh my God, I fucking love this one. I feel like, okay, this is how I imagine it. You know when Dreamer's on the panel and she's like, I'll be back and she's going to make a video? This is what I imagine her, like, dropping the panel and, like, this is what I imagine, like, her walk to her video. She's like, I'm coming, bitch.
That's her have a seat face right there.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, Shane, I saw your video. Yeah, sit down.
What video?
Which one?
Kermit Fletcher, I call it Toothless.
Wait, what you call him?
Oh my God, Lovely had me dying. Lovely killed me with that comment.
Well, I'll tell you what,
There's no more boxes.
video. Comment on it. Where's Dreamer? I says, I got it. I took a picture of it, and then I called him out on it.
Wait, what are y'all talking about?
Oh, comment just put up a video like describing the way the baby would be unalive.
Oh, God.
No, this person asked me in one of my comments, they were like, hey, did you really unalive your landlady with a lead pipe, big dog? And Lovely said, why don't you talk to Karma Collector about the pipe hanging out of his mouth?
Oh, my God. She said that in the comments?
Yes. Starting all this
savage.
trouble with.
Lovely like Belinda. They both savage. Oh, wait. You know, who is that back? I'm like, I love y'all, but somebody has, like, static noise. Let me see if that's you, Dreamer. Is that you, Gypsy? Let me see.
Let me mute. Let me check.
It is. Jesus. Gypsy. No, I'm just kidding. No, but if you need to talk, you can unmute it, of course. You know, did you ever back out when you was in a live ever? You're fine. It's not horrible. I think 3 people staticky, so as long as one better person's muted. Hold on. Watch, you unmute and I'm gonna mute and I'm gonna see if it makes a difference. Wait, I'm about.
Well, then that doesn't make sense.
Yep, and no, it does. It's so weird. Like, so it just does that. So
I'll
like,
mute until I have something to say.
right. So, and when you have something to say, I'll mute. Okay. That's how. Yeah, we can't hear it down here. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. They can't hear, so that's what really matters to me. So, because it's not that bad. So, as long as the chat doesn't hear it, y'all matter the most. No rain. But, so you don't have to go on mute anymore if you don't want to. Scott, the thing's beeping. But, so Sheena, what have you been doing for, the last day and a half? That's what you've been doing?
I was here last night till kind of late. But no, today it's just been loads of fun in the TikTok streets.
Well, guess what? No, we had fun. You should have said, Sheena, last night we laughed so much on this fucking live. Like, when Gypsy came in, oh my God, I could not stop laughing for like, and all these people's coming in here, they have no fucking clue what I'm talking about. And when I had the freaking case of the fucking, I wouldn't even say the giggles, I was wheezing for like, probably like 10 minutes on y'all, like 10, like, I could not stop. And I'm just like, oh my God, you have to watch the replay. We had a good time last night.
We was laughing hard.
I probably have the replay.
Yeah, you can probably get it. Like, Milfy came up, Aubrey. We have a whole story of Grub. Have you met Grub? Sheena hasn't met Grub. Sheena's probably still in the TikTok streets right now. Probably. She can help herself.
Do you ever just like wonder how so much delusion exists in the world? Like, I was just sitting there thinking that, and I just saw you live.
Let me tell y'all, Sheena, the only people other than us that she talks to are like delusional, psychotic people. I don't know why.
They seek me out. I don't seek them out. They seek me out.
I think you enjoy it, like Dreamer enjoys boom.
They wouldn't seek you out if you just block them.
Yeah, but you know what? I always say they'll come back on a backup.
Yeah, but she has fun.
It's pointless to block people.
They seriously do. Karma Collective 4 has me blocked. But he don't have you blocked, and he's sending me stuff.
Sheena and Dreamer are like spirit, like they're spirit peoples of each other. Like they be going like Sheena. I mean, Dreamer just now. She's like, exactly. They'll just come back. Y'all both know how it is. You know what? You know why? That would probably happen to me too. But I rarely check. I'll go like a whole 2 weeks, 3 weeks without looking at like those filtered messages, which is where all the bad shit is. And I'm like, oh look, this psycho is in my messages. You know, Simone recently was in my comments, and she commented like on so many of my comments. It was like just crazy shit. I didn't even finish reading them all.
She's trying to use you to get to me. I know her games. I know her games at this point. Fucking
Sheena, do you think she's watching now?
I know she's watching now. I know it.
I can't go check because I'm here.
Why do you say Audrey?
Oh, because she corrected me one time when I said Audrey. She said it's Audrey. I was like, oh. And so now I have to say it correctly, Gypsy. That's the respectful thing to do. So Audrey. I don't know how I said it wrong, and now I probably still say it wrong. I probably am like a spaz with it.
It's your accent. You say Audrey because your accent.
I say Audrey, like Audrey.
I think Audrey.
Audrey. I was like, what? Excuse me. And then she tried saying that I said Fancy Michelli's name wrong. She was like, it's Fancy Michelli. I'm like, well, you need to tell her that because she chose the name and she doesn't say it like that. How you gonna correct someone on their own stage name? Like, how you gonna tell Fancy her name's wrong? I don't even like Fancy, but she literally argued with me about that. It's Michelli. I'm like, it's not though. Like just because I told her that somebody told me it's pronounced either way. Scott, that's loud. That it's pronounced either way, and she was like, no, it's not. And she's like the expert of all things, so she's right. But the thing is that no matter how it's supposed to be pronounced, Fancy is the one who chose that name, which means she can say that name however the hell she wants to. So why would I say it the way that Audrey wants me to say it when it's not her stage name? It's Fancy's. So yeah, it's Michelli. And
didn't she make a whole video correcting you on
yes,
Michelle?
yes, and it reminds me of my cafeteria lady, like how she used to say, want chili, Michelli. That's how she said chili, and so now I'll always remember how to say it now, Audrey. I'll remember my cafeteria lady, want chili. So please correct me if I'm wrong again, Audrey. Oh, you know what I was able to do the other day, Gypsy? Audrey came in here and was like, Gypsy did have myopathy. And I'm like, no, she didn't. And I was able to show her, and there was another, I don't like to call them haters all the time, but there was a person who is anti-Gypsy in here that literally was like, Audrey, you got this one wrong. I was like, sucker. She still doesn't want to think it, but yeah, I was able to, prove her wrong because she didn't read it right. That's why people shouldn't be reading your medical records if they're not medical professionals. And I know that I'm not either, but I use assistants to be able to read it right. But it has it has preoperative diagnosis, post-operative diagnosis, but then it has the pathologist diagnosis, which is the final diagnosis. And she's going off of the post-diagnosis, which, yes, if there was no other thing on the paper, from say in this case a pathologist, then yeah, I guess you would go by that. But there is one. We got a nurse on the panel right now. Evelyn can tell you the pathologist diagnosis is the final diagnosis, and literally it says you didn't have myopathy. But here she is yes, she did. I'm like, okay. I'm sorry that you're wrong, and she does not like to be wrong at all. And that's how our beef started in the first place. I was so respectful when I corrected her on something, and she made a video and she's like, Brie, blah, blah, blah. I can admit when I'm wrong. I'm like, okay, girl. And ever since then, she's been obsessed with me. I think she might be obsessed with me just as much as you, Gypsy. So you feel lucky, okay? Seriously. Oh my God. And all I did was I nicely corrected her on something. I just said, oh yeah, because she was saying that I think she was saying that it was a part of your plea deal to testify for Nick, and it wasn't. And that's all I did. I was like, no, it was actually and I showed the proof, and she was like, okay. She was so fucking she was just mad about it. She was salty about it. And ever since then, I'm like, damn, I should have just let her think that, because that girl, whew, she is crazy. Really crazy. But do what you do, but watch my shoes. Do what you do, but watch my shoes.
Gypsy, I have a question while you're here.
Axe it, Sheena.
Axe it.
I'm fixing to axe it. I'm gonna ask you this.
Right.
Can you please explain why you're coming out with a second edition of your book? Not a whole new book.
Oh God.
Not a whole new book. Stop it, Key. Not a whole new book. It's a second edition, correct?
Correct. It is a reprint.
Okay, I didn't say anything about this. You told me not to let anybody know that the place announced it.
It's not a completely new, different, separate book. It is a reprint. It's a second edition.
Yeah,
well, I'm gonna get it.
Did it come out? Did that second one come out? Yeah, is anybody able to see it?
What, the reprint?
Yeah.
No, I can't I can't disclose when it comes out. I can't
Okay,
disclose
then.
anything about it because that is the publisher's job, which I know when they're going to start rolling out the promotion for it, but I'm not at liberty to say.
Okay, here's a question.
Right.
Because Becca Scoops pointed this out. There's something.
Then they did something else.
I don't know which ones. Wait, hold on. I don't know which one's which. I'm gonna mute you. I think it's just background noise. I don't know. Okay, so I don't know which is which. I don't know if it's the audio or the. Wait, hold on, Dreamer. I don't know if it's the audio or the actual book, but I don't know. As Becca Scoops was saying, like, there's a part of the book that you don't read in the audio, or vice versa.
And that is a strong possibility because when I was, and they always use this clip of the show, and it's very misleading. There's this clip in the show where it's after I was in the studio and recorded the audio version.
Right.
That I'm opening the book, and that's when I had got like the 200 copies of my book to sign. Mm-hmm. And I said, I have read this book like 50,000 times or something like that. Something along those lines. I don't remember what it was verbatim. And then they show, oh, well, I'm explaining, well, I didn't read my book thoroughly enough when going through the edits. Okay, both are true. But the thing is I did not proofread everything in the book before I went into the studio. So when I went into the studio, I went in blindly. So I had to record even the errors that are in the book that needed correcting. I had to say verbatim. And my literary agent and publisher said, we will note this, and when we go for a reprint, we will correct all of this in the reprint. But right now, it is already gone to print, and we cannot make any more edits to it. So I had to verbatim, even the incorrect information, say while recording it.
And you know what? I want to say this, and I wish if people weren't mass reporting my accounts at the time, because we knew this before the book was, before like you was even really, the books were going out, you knew this already. You didn't, like a lot of people are thinking you're like, people are getting the books and like you're listening to what people are saying about it.
No, you were the first person I told.
You was the first person. I was the first person
Yes.
you told, and I went out and I even talked about it publicly, and I even said the things that were wrong. And of course that video is gone now, and that footage is gone now. But because it's some of the edits is like very simple. Like the football teams are wrong.
Yeah, it wasn't the Bengals, the Cincinnati Bengals and the Saints. It was the Bengals and the Chiefs games that we had plans to go to. Well, in the book it says the Bengals and the Saints, and I'm like, that's incorrect. Like,
so some errors are that minor. Like,
yeah, very minor.
Mm-hmm. Like, and I talked about this. Like, I remember you were actually still out there reading when we talked about this. And I was like, I knew right then and there, I was like, I really want to talk about this on live because I know that if you don't talk about this before the book comes out, people are going to do what they're doing now. And of course, you get newcomers every freaking day. So the people that weren't around since I've been around, since last January, January of 2000, well, really December 23, but say January 2024, all these people that came in December or this year, actually, people that are coming in 2 months ago, don't know that all this shit that they think you changed. I talked about that literally before your book even hit the shelves. I literally said what the mistakes were.
I called Bree. I was like, Bree, I just came back from the studio. There's so many corrections that I need to make in this book. And it's already going to print, and there's nothing I can do about it right now. It just has to get, printed, it has to be rolled out, and there's nothing I can do to change it until the reprint. And I'm going to be called a liar. I'm going to be called, a liar for inconsistencies, even though I recognize the inconsistencies when reading the book that I had co-authors help me to make.
Yes.
So it's not like I'm writing it myself and then I'm like, oh, well, shoot, this is a lie and da-da-da-da. No, I had co-authors.
The fact that one of the errors is a football team's name.
Exactly. Like,
to show people. Like,
come on. Yeah.
So back in school, I remember I was watching.
The book?
Wait, are you talking now? Okay, go ahead. Go
seemed
ahead,
like the
Gina.
audio wasn't as long.
No, the audio would be more. There would be more. No, there would be more in the audio than the book. Wait, no, it's gonna be the same. No, okay. So she's saying that like whole parts. Did you? Oh, you recorded your audio twice.
I recorded the audio once over a period of, I mean, it took me a
Right.
good
Well,
7
yeah, I'm saying
days.
like, did you do the corrections with the audio or no?
No. So, with the reprint,
Oh, I got it.
I haven't been told that I have to go back into the studio again. So I think, because the thing is, I did say I had 2 versions. So I did one where I said what was printed and like what was going to go to print, and then for the corrected version, I just kind of said it in a different way while in studio. So I don't think I have to go in studio again. They could probably just use the
Okay.
2 versions
So I wonder what
that I
she's
recorded.
talking about then, because like the corrected book never came out yet though, right?
Correct.
Right. So I wonder how back, because I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't really watch one of the most recent ones. Like someone that told me to watch it because it's actually ridiculous, and it is. So I fucking watched it, and she talks about like this point, like I don't know if it's the audio or the book, but one of them like it's in there, one of them it's not. But that doesn't make sense if you had to read it verbatim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had to read it verbatim, and
I'm gonna have to go watch that again then.
yeah, see, let me know, because I mean,
Yeah, because that could be her easily. I mean, I've seen her straight up lie before, many of times, and because she even said it was weird. She said, something about a rewrite. Like she was talking about how your books, like you're doing another book, and it almost sounded like she like had the inside scoop and knew exactly what wasn't going to be in, and there's no way. So like, I'm gonna have to go watch it. So don't quote me on this, anybody. But I know for sure she does say that there's something in your book that's not in the audio or vice versa, and that's impossible if you had to read it verbatim.
exactly. So I don't know what she would be talking about. I have a second chance at making sure I proofread it this time. I have to get all the edits and all the proofreading done by November 11th. So I'm in the process of doing that right now. So I'm going through it with a fine-tooth comb. I did take out something that I felt that my co-author kind of went a little too graphic on, that never
Co-author, y'all, not co-defendant, co-author, okay?
co-author, Michelle Matrashani. There was a line, and I understand that the line was supposed to be impactful and give real like depth and meaning to it, but I felt like it came off too graphic and too abrasive, and so I asked that be removed, and so that little line will be gone. I added a few things, like the Barbie thing. So when people are like, yeah, you said that your mom didn't let you play with Barbies, but then show a picture of me holding a Barbie. Okay, well, there's more detail to that. So my mom didn't let me play with Barbies when I was, 4 and 5 and 6, but then let me start playing with Barbies when I was 10, 11, 12, because at 10, 11, 12, that's when girls typically start getting into makeup. They start getting into boys, the age progression of maturity continues. So that was just something for my mom to kind of like, in a sense, stunt my growth. Well,
That literally
don't play
makes
with
so
makeup.
much sense.
Don't be interested in boys, but here's a Barbie doll. Does that make sense?
No, it makes absolute sense, and I just wish people would listen to you, Gypsy. And you know what? I know that like I'm so glad that you're in a place in your life where you're just like, I'm fine, But like when you get into these discussions and you say things like that makes so much sense. I don't even think you realize how impactful that could be to other people out there, because like I never even went through that. And when you just said that, like before you even said the reasoning, it's like I knew exactly like why she would do that. Like, just don't ever forget your voice matters. I'm telling you, because when you come up here and you actually speak and you speak on your story, like if people don't want to believe you, it's because they don't want to believe you. But like what I always have said, because they're like, oh, Gypsy could lie to you. No, the talks that we've had, like everything that you tell me is logical. It's logical and it makes sense with everything that I've researched, and it matches up. And there's no, like, that right there, like the Barbie thing, like that makes so much sense. Like, you're not just gonna pull that out of your ass. That's actually, it psychologically makes sense. And so if anybody can't understand that or get it, then they're just not gonna get it then. Because before you even said like the reasoning behind that, like, it was like, wow, like, yeah, that makes total sense. So
I mean, when I was like 6 years
that's
old,
rad.
you know, my mom was like, why aren't you, you know, it doesn't seem like you're
crazy.
interested in Barney or Sesame Street anymore. You used to love that. You know, let me get you a you know, a doll or we used to call them Weebles, but you remember the Fisher Price little people?
Yeah.
They were like little fat, short figurines.
It's just so
And,
crazy.
you know, she's like, well, why don't you play with that? And, you know, so it's just kind of like, I was growing and maturing, and you lose interest in things. You know, you stop being interested in Sesame Street, and then you go on to watching Disney princesses, and you just mature. And so stunting the things that she wanted me to like is you know, what happened with the Barbie. So that's why I'm like, details matter for some things, and then details really don't matter in the big picture for other things. So that's why I wanted to specifically like add that. Like, yeah, I wasn't allowed at this age, but I was allowed at this age, and put context to it.
Yeah, it's just, you know, nobody, you know, like, you never had to tell your story. And people will say, like, well, we didn't want to hear it. Yes, you did, because I promise you, the people that are not for you there was just as many people who bought that book who don't support you than there was that do support you. Okay, so they were. Some of them just got it or listened to it somewhere else, but a lot of them bought it. And like, that's the sad part, is because, you know, especially when you have so many years, like you like didn't get out until you were almost 24. There's so many years, so many details. Think about your own life without all of that. Imagine the details, like, in someone like someone like you. And to think that one book is going to tell your whole life story, like every single detail, there's no way. There's no way. And it would be hard for just a typical person that lived a normal life to do that, much less someone that there's so many layers to it. And like, what your mom might allowed at one time, she could like whereas me, my mom would let me play Barbies from 4 till however old, whenever I stopped. There was no moment that she said no or yes. I mean no at any age, you know, like. So like, it makes it completely changes. It adds another layer, because it makes sense psychologically, like, why she would do that. And just like making you play with those whatever you just said, Weebles or whatever, like at what, when you're like 14 years old. Whereas like, I probably got one, like something like that for Christmas when I was like 7. You know, and it's I just wish people would, but yeah, you there's only so much you can tell in one book. And I wish, you know, how when you sent me the rough draft, and I just wish sometimes that I would have read all the way through, so I could have helped you, like, if you missed anything, like, and some things I wouldn't have known, but some things I would have. And like, because I hate that for you, because I know that people are they just rip you apart and it makes sense that could happen. You had 2 other co-authors, like, they never lived your life, you did, and they're just doing the best they can with what you tell them. And yeah. But
and it's like they work on transcripts, they work on conversations, but there is margin for error whenever, you know, we're not talking on a daily basis like friends. We have a few business calls, and, you know, if something is not explained to the 10th powered square, there is margin for error.
you know, I want to ask you something, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way towards the people that helped write this book. Do you ever feel like, in a way, like your book was like, I know, like, maybe you always wanted to write a book, you know, and tell your story, like, for you, you know, but do you ever feel like it was rushed to do it when it happened? And do you think that if you would have, like, come out and, like, just lived, like, and then told it?
Yes, I 100% feel that way, because what I'm trying to explain to people, and I explain that kind of like in the post that I put, where, you know, if people invalidate me, this is where I'm coming from, is that I completely 100% agree that I should have came out, lived a private life, worked on myself, worked on my trauma, and then after I have been through the work, completed the work, healed, and am able to process the memories and also have enough time to where I could talk to relatives, talk to my family, talk to my mom's friends, talk to people that knew her, talk to people that knew us, get a gauge of what their perspective and their beliefs were. Because I feel like my story, there's his side, her side, and the truth, or her side, and the truth, right? Where I feel like my story, I know my perspective. I only know my perspective. I don't know my mother's perspective. I don't know Nick's perspective. I don't know my aunts, uncles, cousins' perspective. So the things that I account is my memory and my memory alone. Now, whether my memory is the truth, I don't know, because I have been told conflicting things. For example, I have no memory of going to kindergarten at all. I don't remember that. I remember going to a thing called Lads and Lassies, which was a daycare center for one day. Okay. And I remember going to Vacation Bible School where my mom volunteered as like one of the helpers. Okay. Well, my co-authors spoke to one of my aunts on my mom's side. And by their account, I went to kindergarten. So my co-authors then incorporated this information into my book. Okay, so that detail did not come from me. It came from my aunt. And like I said, that is another thing that will be fixed, because this is not going off of my memoir. It's supposed to be my memory and my memory alone, not the memories of other people. So, and there is that disclaimer in the book that says, you know, this is my memory. It is not, it is only my perception and only my memory. So if something is incorrect, I could very well be incorrect. Now, the general trauma and abuse is all around the board true. But little details like kindergarten, I don't know, because I was far too young to remember that. So
whether you had birthday candles, stupid shit like that.
Yeah, birthday candles. Like, haven't they given to think that the birthday parties that I had, I feel like was for other people. If they had candles on the birthday cake, it wasn't because my mom said, hey, you are this old. It was because, hey, we're having a party where a lot of people are going to be invited. And, at an age, that stopped. So, like, I really didn't have numbers on my candles after, like, 13. So, if I had numbers on my candles when I was little, which I did, that is kind of before my mom started changing the birth years. Because at that time, you don't need to change the birth years on a 9-year-old's, age.
Right.
It's only when you get in your teen years that she was knocking back a couple years.
Well, the thing is, they expect, okay, by that age, you should just always just remember at that point. And I think what people seem to understand is the confusion, like, but your mom is telling you no.
Oh,
and you're like,
no,
what?
my mom would tell me, the car wreck that we were in 2001, the car wreck, but she would tell me that, she has memory loss from that car accident and guilt trip me and be like, oh, I'm crazy, or, I understand that, you might think this way of me, but I know this is the year you were born. Like, there's manipulation beyond measure.
And she did tell some doctors that too, like that she would tell some doctors that, but then she would tell some doctors that you were born like you were born paralyzed. And she even told one doctor that you were quadriplegic, which I don't know how a doctor wouldn't be able to look at you and see you weren't. It's
quadriplegic with like all limbs.
All limbs, yes. Like literally.
What the heck?
It's like the right there where I was standing. It's the first page on the top. It says that. It literally says quadriplegic, and then like 4 months later, I want to say at the same exact hospital, it says paraplegic. Like, talk about fell through the cracks. Like, it's insane. It really is. And
they're like, why don't you sue the doctors? Well, the thing is like, I didn't even think about statute of limitations. It was a big deal to me when I was in prison. And I've always just been so damn busy. Like, in prison, I was in school. I was trying to get my GED. I did, I had a few phone calls with Christy where she and Dad went looking for an attorney. Christy told me that she didn't get a phone call back from any of the attorneys that she had reached out to. And then later, Christy would do interviews, and she said to attorneys, they said they wouldn't touch the case. Now, I believe Christy. Confirm that information? No, I believe Christy.
Gypsy,
But
oh, well, you go ahead and finish it. I'll tell you after.
I was told, and then after that, I kind of just was like, you know what? It's not going to give me my salivary glands back. It's not going to give me those years that I could have been running around in the yard back. So what gain do I have? Most of the doctors are too old and retired now to even sue. What does it matter? Like, I have a kid now. I have a life now. I'm 34 years old. If they're retired, then good. They ain't going to do it to anybody else. What's the point in suing them now?
Well, you could.
You know, there's so many doctors anyways.
Okay.
Statute of limitations too.
Yeah, that's what I was about to explain. Like, I looked, okay, because people used to ask this all the time, and it was annoying because it was always, and it's like, okay, even if, let's just say, like that doesn't give you the right to invalidate her abuse, though. But I researched so deep into this subject and looked up the Missouri laws, the Louisiana, and first of all, most of your surgeries, yes, you had some in Missouri, but a lot of them were in Louisiana. And Louisiana has the shittiest statute of limitation laws. Like, from the moment that you, because they have this thing where you, say if you don't realize that the surgery wasn't needed or like whatever it may be, there's things in almost every single state where it goes from the moment that you find out. But there's only a certain amount of years to say, it might be 5 in Louisiana, like, is like 1 or 2. Like, you have 1 or 2 years. You had maybe 1 year for Louisiana. Anything that happened in Louisiana, you maybe had 1 year. Like, for some, you would never be able to touch it. It was even past that. Whereas in Missouri, there was, you might have been able to end like within 2.5 years, but you have to think you was preparing for maybe going to trial. You had to deal with that first. Then, like, so, and when I was researching this, what Christy's saying, I 100% believe, because everything that I researched on it, everywhere that I looked, it said that it would be very hard for a lawyer to fight this. And this is why, because when it comes to Munchausen by proxy, yes, some things are fabricated, some things are exaggerated, but also some things are induced. So if there were things that your mother induced on you, which means that it made it necessary, it doesn't mean that it wasn't, like, it was abuse that caused it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so the doctor wouldn't be at fault for that if your mother induced something on you. So some of those cases, it's really hard to even win with Munchausen by proxy, because sometimes, like, the mother or the caretaker is doing something that then makes the surgery necessary. And that's what I always try to explain to people. This surgery right here, let's say this one, it may have been necessary, but only because A, B, C, and D. Like, it would have never been necessary had you been given the correct amount of food that, like, you know that you could always eat. You know that you've never been scared of food, even though your mom says that. You have never, and just like you have swallow. I just recently learned this, and I didn't even know this. 7 years later, you got a feeding tube, and it wasn't until almost 7 years later that you took a swallow study. Why would that not be done first? That should be done first. That wasn't done until 7 years later, and that's when your mom was trying to get other things done, like with your throat and stuff like that. And I was just like, that, it blew my mind that a swallow study test was never done before your feeding tube was put in, especially for the fact that it was supposed to be feeding difficulties. So there are things that a doctor, like, you'll never win because it's the doctor. You have to prove that the doctor was at fault. And if you can't prove that, so I absolutely do believe that Christy and them probably looked, and it was probably because of the statute of limitations and because of how hard it is to fight those cases. like with the doctors, I think that they did get turned down. Like I don't know why people was like they would pick that up in a heartbeat. Y'all aren't understanding what
There's laws in place, and you
Yep.
have to go by with the laws.
Yep.
I mean,
You have to
Louisiana
prove
has some
it.
pretty shitty laws. I mean,
Shitty,
just look at the
shitty.
whole thing with the paternity stuff and my divorce. Like, they have some shitty laws.
Well, you know what, Bree? You're absolutely right about the swelling test. When my sister had Lou Gehrig's disease, I had the feeding tube put in. They first checked swallowing. They first checked to see if you
Yeah.
even swallow.
I was blown away though. Like this was a few weeks ago that I had even realized. Like I put your whole document into I'm telling you, if you ever are interested, I know you put your box away, but if you're ever interested, Gypsy, what you should do is scan in all your documents on a computer, and that way you can understand it. You put it through an AI system, and I know it's not perfect, but it can break it down where you understand things that you might not understand because you're not a medical professional. And had I not done that, I would have never even realized that you didn't even get a swallow study until almost 6-7 years after you had your feeding tube, which is insane considering the reason was supposedly for difficulty eating. That should have been a test that was done before you even got that feeding tube. And I like researched this really, really deep. Like, and so that it's true. I'm not saying they would never put it in, but the fact that she was 7 years old, and it is so rare to be diagnosed with failure to thrive at 7 years old. That usually happens between the ages of newborn and 2 years old.
Correct.
And if you were to get diagnosed at 7, this is the interesting part, y'all. If you were to get diagnosed at 7, you know why? What would cause something like that? Something that's like, let's say, neuromuscular, which is what? Something your mother tried to prove that you had. And what in the end did you not have? Anything neuromuscular. If that's not strategic, like a strategic thing that your mom did, and I'm telling you, it'll blow your mind if you put your records to like so you can understand it. One day, if you just like want to be like, I want to understand. I'm telling you, Gypsy, you should do this for yourself because there was things that I learned. This one night I was doing this, I was sitting here for like 4 hours, and it like blew my mind. It like connected so many dots because that's the reason. Like if you were to be diagnosed with failure at 7 years old, it's not something that is like the same for a 1 and 2 year old. It's usually would be caused by something like your muscle is not like it's neuromuscular and or neurological, and that's what your mother was trying to say you had problems with, and which was then never proven. And it just, I'm telling you, like you'll start to see the blueprint of like your entire life come before your eyes. And one day, if that's what you want to do, that you should do that because I think it'll help you like make sense of some things, and.
You know what I need to? I need to get in touch with Titania because
Yes.
Titania, she told me whenever the last time I talked to her, when we kind of squashed the drama, she told me that she put every medical record in a file in order.
Yep.
And she has it for me. And so because it's like I have medical records here that I can go look at, but they are all like out of order, different dates, all kinds of
She has it all in order from beginning to end. She made that book for you, she said. So
I need to get it from her, and then I can start to like go through it and understand.
like even
because
for
like
yourself, not for
exactly,
yourself.
and that's what going back to what I was saying was when you asked me that kind of loaded question of do I wish that I had wrote the book after I healed. And I said yes, is because like I have not sat down and looked at the medical records. I've looked at some, but I haven't looked at all.
You know why I asked you that? I had been feeling it like